Hi.
Hey,
You know what?
I still understand like the point of counting us in, and then you play music, and we don't see or hear the music, so we're just kind of sitting here. Why count us in?
Now remember,
I didn't
Lilith, that
realize I didn't realize Norman Lear's daughter was doing this show with us. Is such an expert on television. Fair enough.
well, see, the thing is, you got to remember is what Amanda is counting down is the time when we need to shut the F ups because I believe she's got it still set where it's recording her entire desktop, so it will pick up our mics. We need to fix that. Actually, it doesn't matter because we'll set Raina up as the new producer and we'll get it set up correctly. So,
But you don't have to count us in. You could just say, starting the music now, everyone be quiet, and then we'll all be quiet.
and then
And you've got no audio. If you'd stop talking, no one can hear you. No one can hear you. You have no audio going out.
after all of that,
Like sitting
the peak
here,
professionalism for
just
TV here.
trying to get her to stop
everything.
talking, to tell her that no one can hear her talking.
It's
We've
cool.
got a
We're only
producer
gonna-
coming. We got a new producer. They're gonna she's gonna
Yeah,
come
we need to
take
fire
over.
the current producer and get the new one in here. So everybody can hear Amanda now.
I think so. I hope so.
Let's get some
It's
thumbs up or
working.
some confirmations in chat, and then we'll go ahead and
Darn
get
it.
going back.
Someone in Twitch
Ladies
said
and gentlemen,
yes.
friends beyond the binary.
No, you don't have to. Don't. No, you've already missed that. You've already
No,
missed
we
that.
have to do it. We have to start the show. We're gonna do it together.
Five,
The show's
four,
already started.
3.
People are watching this
friends beyond.
ship go down in real time. What do you mean we got to do it?
Well,
Now
there's a live
we
show,
need
and
a
this is why
foundation.
this is showing our audience why it's very important and fun to watch a live show because you get to see how the hot
Everything
dog's
twice.
made. And just like with hot dogs, you can see that this is the part you shouldn't know about because this is just bad. It's unappetizing. But we're gonna try it again. We're gonna get Lilith to
We're
calm
gonna
down.
do this again. Okay.
Well, because you stepped on it the second time, so the second time didn't
I
even
didn't
happen.
realize we had to intro the show again.
We need a solid foundation. We need a solid foundation for the basis of the rest of the show. Because if we don't,
that's
have
something
that,
I've been saying for quite some time now. But yeah, continue.
We're currently in sand. So, Amanda, do your favorite thing. Let's see the countdown and then start us off.
We're gonna count into.
It's her thing. It's her thing. Let her have her
thing. This is television's thing. Like every show does this. You can't have a show without a count-in. It doesn't.
I'm drinking my coffee for you to continue. So continue.
In 5, 4, 3. Ladies and gentlemen and friends beyond the binary, welcome to Being Trans. My name is Amanda Bonanza. Next to me there is Lilith Elektra. And down at the bottom, but not in any way a bottom, that is Emily Kailyn. Well, maybe some ways.
And I think always, honestly.
I just spoke for you in a wrong way, and I apologize. Should we start over? Should we do another count in?
Yeah, you should.
Take 4.
Let me perfect my office stare.
I do need that. In 5, 4.
Are you really starting us again?
Well, yeah, we have to get it right.
What was wrong with that?
All we're going to do for this episode is just an hour of counting us in.
This is the best stuff. I mean, that would be a great hour. I can't think of a better way to spend an hour than to just like see the production as it comes to fruition.
This is what it's like going to Thanksgiving and one of your nephews or nieces just learned how to count to 5. And so they're just going to spend the entire time showing off that they can count to 5.
I was thinking it was more like when you go to Thanksgiving and you keep restarting the turkey.
I don't go to Thanksgiving anymore. I was uninvited. And it's not celebrated here in the random Central American country that I've landed. So
nice. Okay. Well, so you just naturally get to move on from it. I love that. I don't
just
know.
get to move on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not invited to Thanksgiving. I don't even know what that is anymore.
I don't
Sorry.
even know.
You know,
Yeah.
good for you.
I
You
don't
don't
know
even
if
have
there
the
is
Super
an
Bowl there either.
I don't know if there is an equivalent in Australia because, like, doesn't Canada have a Thanksgiving, I believe, of some
Yeah,
kind?
it's called Canadian Thanksgiving.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, I mean, they also genocided the natives. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like,
So they gotta
oh,
celebrate that somehow.
I mean,
Um,
Australia did that too. That's kind of like if you're one of
yeah,
Britain's
that's
kids
kind of like
and
a
you didn't
thing.
genocide the natives, I don't know what you were doing.
yeah. It's
I
sort of
it
white
also
people's
happened in
thing.
Central America.
We just don't celebrate it here.
It's a great show. We're all real happy. We don't really want to talk about these bad things. We want to talk about good things. I don't have any good things to talk about. I
Well,
just have like the
I've got good things. So I'm
okay.
getting ready to move to Australia. Hence the Thanksgiving question, and starting to pack. Just barely, yeah, just starting to separate things because I have to do three things. I have to figure out what I want to take. I have to sell a lot of things, and I have to get rid of stuff. And then everything that doesn't go gets packed up in the garage. So yeah, I've got to go through that. I've got this big room here. Well, in doing that, I was in the garage and kind of looking at what's in there and what I have to do with that stuff to make room. And there's a box that has just says intimates on the side. And it's some stuff that I used to wear and I kind of don't anymore. So I pulled it down and went through it. Well, the thing is as a trans girl, I've gone through, several stages with my bras. I started with like add 2 cup sizes bras. So it's just like, 3 inches of foam padding that you strap to your chest. And that worked for a while, but they weren't super comfortable because the thing is the bra is still supposed to have something in it. So it's what sets like this. And if you don't have anything in there, then it sits against your body like that and just causes causes discomfort. The wires end up then kind of poking straight into your skin, whatever. So then eventually I switched to wearing breast forms, which was super fun. They feel realistic. They once you sweat a little bit, they kind of stick to your skin and you feel the weight on your skin.
Oh
And then
yeah,
yeah.
sweaty breast forms.
Well, not sweaty, but just when you sweat a little bit and they get tacky. That's
Welcome to
the
being
ideal moment there.
trans after dark.
Yeah.
We're just a little sweaty today.
So at that point I was using the sort of just lightly lined, they've got shape to them, but there's not really a lot of padding. And at some point I got sick of wearing those because the breast forms, like, it's kind of a pain in the ass. They would fall out sometimes if I was doing any running or whatever, which Sporty Spice, I do a lot. And it felt fake. I was sick of it. So, but then my breasts hadn't grown yet, so I couldn't wear any of those bras. So then I went through a couple other stages. Well, anyways, I put a lot of that stuff away, and having just spent $90 on lingerie the other day, I later in that day pulled down this box and started to go through it, and there's like 2 or 3 dozen bras in there because not only did I go through some stages and had some different things. I don't know if y'all experienced this when you came out or if the other trans folks in the chat have experienced this, but you come out and you're finally free to dress and to be yourself, and you get really obsessive with things. So I bought apparently an absolute crap ton of bras and panties because I'm just going through this box and I'm like, holy Jesus, how many bras do I have? And these are bras that are put away. Like I have a full drawer worth of bras. And so these are the non-wearing ones. And so that was wild at first. I'm just like, damn, I have way too many. But then I started like trying them on, and a lot of them from the old days like fit me now. Like
Hey.
I'm kind of
That's
filling them out.
convenient.
Yes, it's super convenient. I mean, that's why you put things away is so that like later you can come back and wear them. And so I just have this treasure trove of all these wonderful bras from my past, and it's pretty great. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm packing up and also at the same time unpacking and going like, I have new clothes. This is great.
As someone who also just packed up her life for a similar reason, someone at a Goodwill in Detroit, if you're a woman size 14 shoes, there are a ton of shoes there just waiting for you to pick up. Flats, heels, it's all there. But yeah, and that I also tell people, I think one thing, like if they're just starting to transition, it's like, find your own style. I think like I rushed out and like anytime I found something that fit, I was like, I'm getting that. And then I never wore it. And it was just like, then I found my style and I was like, oh, my style is, the same slacker ass shit I wore before transition, except in dress form occasionally.
Uh-huh. So did either of you experience that where you came out and you were just so excited for it that like I would the bras and panties obviously because that was sort of an obsession for me, but I got jealous of the girls at work that could wear pencil skirts because we had
Oh yeah.
a business attire kind of thing, and so when it came time, I think I have like 30 pencil skirts. Did either of you just go and like get obsessed about something and then try and find the right one, and along trying to find that just end up with a crap ton of them?
Sort of. So here's the thing: is in order to do that, you need to have money, and I didn't have any money, which I think is a lot more common for trans girls. Like
Yeah,
coming
true.
out is like you don't have a lot of money, and so one of the things. But I definitely went through that because you come out and like it's that first 3 months, that first 6 months, that first year, and like you're so excited, but like also you don't know how anything works, and you're like kind of learning. You don't know what your style is, and so you're experimenting and like I did a different thing because when I came out, I didn't want to just go full Sasquatch and like dive head first into like women's clothing and fashion because like to me, I still didn't, I didn't, I, n- the medicine hadn't started physically working yet, and
Yeah,
so I
feel
didn't
that.
want to necessarily do that. So I went through like a kind of a tiered phase where
Okay.
I instead of adding femininity, what I did was I was like, I'm going to reduce masculinity until I can get to the point of androgyny where people legitimately can look at me and not be able to tell. And
Mhm.
at that point, I'll feel comfortable like walking through the looking glass and going the other direction. And so that's how I started. And so the easiest way for me to do that, which was to me the most sensible way, was just going goth. So like I did a bunch of goth shit and like I bought a lot and plus I lived in Seattle so like black clothing is just what you wear in Seattle, and so it was just easy to buy like black gothy stuff and like cool like gloves and like obviously chokers, you know
Of course, yeah.
like all that stuff and all the accoutrement and the dark makeup and like all that stuff that comes with goth where you can be like androgynous and it's not like sus, kind of in a way.
Mhm.
Like and so I did that, but then of course what I ended up ultimately happening was I just found a dress that I liked that I like. I was like, okay, and I bought it, and then from there it was just like, okay, now I'm just doing this now. But like I definitely went through a phase of like trying different stuff and like I had a Wish phase where I was buying stuff off of Wish and that didn't last very long because their clothes are basically made out of paper. And so I tried all the different things and I tried all the business attire because I did have a corpo job.
Yeah.
And so I liked pencil skirts and I was doing skirts and all that stuff. And then I never got into the like the pantsuit or the business suit, but like I was really into dresses at the time and I had a lot of like business style dresses, but I was also like hyper fashionable and like so bright colors. And so like you ever play GTA 5?
Like
The video game, Grand
yeah.
Theft Auto 5. Like and
Yeah,
so
but
like
I played the game. I never did the like the
oh,
online
you never did the
that
online thing.
that sort of
Lilith,
thing.
did you do
Yeah.
the online GTA 5?
Not really.
God damn it. Okay, never mind. This anecdote's going. Well, for those of you in the watching that have played GTA 5 online, when you go into the clothing store, you can go talk to the person at the counter and they'll give you options to buy just outfits and of and
Oh,
the whole
cool.
outfits and then if you they have like subsections of like subgenres of type like sporty, athletic, blah blah blah. And one is like artsy, and that was like where I went. I went to the artsy section and like I did the realtor and the graphic designer and all that stuff. And so like that was the kind of business attire that I wore.
Mm.
And then eventually I just kind of settled on where I am now, which is this like kind of, well, actually now I wouldn't even say settled. It's just what I've gotten to, which is now I'm just like what I'm just all in for being a MILF. I think I've just got like MILF vibes out the ears and I'm into it.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah.
it's been a fun journey, and yeah, I see you mentioned the money, and yes, I was a bit spoiled. I do see that now that I haven't had a job for 5 years, that like I was doing pretty well back then. But I also when I started, I was hitting the thrift shops a lot, and something about that like searching, that the hunt and peck kind of way of finding clothes at the time was really fun too. I got to the point of being really sick of that, and like never being able to find what I wanted in my size. You find lots of cute stuff, you find lots of stuff in your size, but like it's harder for those two
Marry the two shall meet. Yeah, the
yeah.
Venn diagram doesn't overlap very much.
Yeah.
That's was my issue with thrift store shopping too. It's like you could if you can you have to kind of live that as a lifestyle to like really do anything with it, because
Yeah.
like the way shopping kind of works is you have to be constantly sifting through the garbage that's in the thrift store, and then every now and then you find something that both is cute and fits. But if you do that and you live that life, you can find some great stuff. And I've known plenty of people that did that, but I just never had the patience to do that. Like I just
Yeah.
never, I never enjoyed thrifting that much. And yeah, and also just being big, like your options are so limited when you're bigger, when you're
Yeah.
tall.
Very true.
And the same thing with like shoes. It's like shoes are so hard to find. I can't find any shoes ever. I have to buy all my shoes online. Now,
Yeah,
Lilith,
Charlotte's
you
got that
said something
problem.
about shoes. You had like you left a treasure trove in Detroit.
I mean, actually, I had some stuff to say about, I worked at a thrift stop for a thrift store for a while. And one of the nice things about a thrift store is because so many places, women's clothes aren't sized like men's clothes. Men's pants are just like, what's your waist, what's your inseam, and that's it. And women's are all like size 18, size 12, size 10. And everyone's size 10 is not the same. Everyone's size 6 is not the same. So go to the thrift store is a great way of, one, feeding that need to redo your wardrobe without spending a lot of money, and two, kind of learning what companies and what brands size and what size for each brand fits you. And most of my first clothes came from thrift stores. And then when I started working at a thrift store, a lot of it just came home as a bonus. Sometimes we can't sell this. It's got a spot on it. That spot's
Couldn't
never going to come
possibly
out.
sell
We
that.
can't
Couldn't
possibly
sell
sell
this.
that. Yeah. But yeah, thrift stores, I think thrift stores are amazing. Also, like, as much as you hate to support like chains, like if you know what your size is at Old Navy, then you can just order online if you don't want to go
Yeah.
shopping and try stuff out. Because I also have problems with, I think there's a lot of problems with like length of dresses. I have plenty of dresses that I've had that I was never able to wear out because they didn't account for me being 6'3".
I found there's actually a good online shopping sizing hack that I know that like seems to me pretty obvious, but like if you just get yourself a tape measure and you know your measurements, like pretty much any place that sells clothing online will have like a sizing chart that
With the
coordinates
measurements.
with measurements. And so if you just have that, like that's a real good way to just do that. And then you can get your size based on your measurements. Now the problem is like if you have measurements that aren't necessarily in accordance with theirs, because it's like, well, I've got a bigger chest, but like, and also a wider waist and narrower hips or whatever, and like it's hard to find the right thing within their framework of how they do it.
Yeah, the
But
perfect woman kind of
it's
a thing. Yeah.
right, yeah, and so you just kind of have to like take a stab at it. But it's a good way to get. I feel like knowing your measurements is something that like every woman should do anyway. Like it's just, and I should do it more. I should retake my measurements and know what I'm know what size I am because
Well, it changes
women's
week to
bodies
week, so
change
yeah.
so much. Yeah. Yeah,
The other thing,
constantly.
Lilith, you were saying, I knew that there would be some a lot of size challenges going from men's clothes to women's clothes because you've got different garments, you've got a lot of different stuff, and then it's just sized differently. Because like, aren't men's pants based on inches? Isn't that what like the 34
Yeah,
is?
it's
Yeah.
basically the inch around your waist and then the inch of your inseam.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
Yeah.
you imagine but they were like, oh, but Levi's, it's always 2 inches longer along the waist and 2 inches shorter on the inseam. So just know that, men, when you're buying Levi's, that the inches are different.
Well, yeah. So that's the big thing going to women's sizes is no company has the same size. Like you go,
Yeah.
like you use, okay, I'm a 10 and you use that as like a general guideline of where to start, but it's never you walk into the store, you grab a 10 and that's perfect. It's just like, okay, the 10 is too loose, so I got to go down. The 10's too tight, so I got to go up. That's all it is. It's just
And then
like
you
a
go
super
someplace
starting
else, you're
point.
like, I'm a 10, you buy a 10 and you get home and you're just like, you can't put your arms down
You
because
can't
it's
get your arms through it.
you're
Yeah.
like,
I have,
"Ah,
oh my God, the amount
I
of
swear
times
I'm a
I've been
10."
stuck like this for like 15 minutes. Oh my God.
I was at a vintage dress store in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I went by myself, and they had like a cool dress that had like a loop around the neck and then like strands to the shoulders, and I got it on, and I was there by myself, and I'm in the dressing room like folded over with the dress pulled up, and I can't get my head out of the little strap. Luckily, I like like embarrassed, like the goth chick. Like, this place is like, you go inside and it's like completely black and like lots of it's like that the design of the Atom Cats in Fallout 4, like that kind of stuff. And she's got like the big curl in the middle of her head, like a little of her hair like a 50s diva, and I'm in there like, I'm stuck in a dress.
That seems like a poll we need to put out to women just in general, especially here on International Women's Day. Everybody, happy International Women's Day.
Is it International Women's Day?
It is.
Holy shit. Happy I'm on top of it.
But I think we need to like poll just women in general. Like, how many times have you had, or who's had, and like sort of how many times, who has had the changing room panic where you just feel like you're stuck in a garment and you don't know how to get out of it at all.
Or even I'd even go add to that, because like sometimes I'll try and get into a garment, like a dress usually, and it won't make any sense. Like, I had this swimsuit that was like an MC Escher puzzle, like, and it didn't make any sense. It wrapped around and you had to tuck it in a way. And like, I had that swimsuit for like a year and I never figured out really how to get into it. Every time I was trying to get into it, it was like, this doesn't make any sense.
You gotta
And it's like, you have to
strap here
step
across
into
your
it like
boob
from the side, and then you got to do a tuck thing, and like it goes, and like you put your head through the armhole and you don't know where you are. And I had so many experiences like that with like dresses, especially in that first year when it's all kind of new to you. And then it's like, cause like, men's clothes, you get in a shirt, it's pretty fucking straightforward. It's just like, yeah, get in.
Yeah, and I wonder what that is. Like, we understand the societal thing of like gender is a construct and all this sort of stuff, but it's just like you get to that level and it's just like, why is that? Is it just that women don't know that they can stand up for themselves and say, no, this a dress like this is bullshit. Something that I have to like struggle to get in and out of. Like,
no, that's not it. Women can't be trusted to dress themselves. That's why the buttons are on the other side, because they have someone come and dress them. Yeah, no, women cannot be trusted to dress themselves. They are not supposed to buy, and their husband buys it, and then it's up to them to fit into it. That's how society should work.
I love that, Amanda. Happy International Women's Day you threw in there. That's great.
I mean, you can try like protesting clothes. And to be perfectly honest, I did that in an Old Navy once. I had spent the day looking for pants, and I had gone to I was determined to get a single pair of jeans. And like I went to like every store, and like I was just at the end of my wits, and someone was like, you should try Old Navy. I was like, okay, fine, I'll try Old Navy. And I went into Old Navy, and everything was like giant and baggy and stupid, and nothing fit. And I was so frustrated from an entire day of like finding jeans that didn't fit. And I was like in the dressing room trying these things on. I was like, God damn it, motherfucker. Why doesn't anything fit? This is so stupid. I can't believe this. These sizes don't make any sense. And like they actually did have to come in and kick me out of the Old Navy.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Old Navy.
Excuse me. You do realize that there's no tops to these changing rooms. Could you please keep it down just a little? There are children here. Old Navy, get the Rockstar cut. It's got a lot of give to the fabric, and it's tight. Oh yeah, makes those legs look great.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And
I just
yeah,
saying
you're not.
the clothes protesting just kind of gets you kicked out.
And they kicked me out because I'm trans. It's like, you sure they didn't kick you out because you were swearing up a storm in the dressing room? Maybe that was it too.
Might have.
You know what? Now
Might
in
influence
retrospect, yeah, it might have influenced their decision.
Oh, you know, I knew what it was for. I didn't think there was any bigotry at play. There's no discrimination at play. I deserved to get kicked out of that Old Navy. They were right to do it. Like I'm just saying that's the end result of
I just love that, especially
protesting clothing sizes.
in context of all what we were just talking about, getting stuck in clothing, like having that fear of like, I can't get out of this without ripping this thing and thus having to buy it. Or even worse, the ones where you're in it and there's just no give and it's pretty strong and you don't even think you'd be able to rip out of it.
Just like, I'm going to wear this home. Everything's normal here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Goodbye. If you could just reach into my purse and get my
gonna
credit
wear
card,
this right
I will
to the
happy to
scissors
pay
Let me
for
get
this.
let me get my card out of here.
I was going to get
you.
my car and
No, it's
drive
cool.
home with my boobs.
I don't need a bag. I'll just wear it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
But in the context of that, just thinking of getting to that point of just being so frustrated and pissed off by the whole thing that you just go into a swearing tirade in the dressing room. But fuck all this, fuck this pair of jeans. It's like, oh my God, I love it. It's so it hits so hard right here in my heart of like, yes, I may not have done that, but oh my God, have I felt it.
Well, I'll tell you, we've had a good happy International Women's Day. We've had a good start, but I think we do need to jump to our next segment because
let's do it.
I've been trying for like the last 5 minutes to like work out in my mind like a good comedic or at least professional or kind of even mildly good segue to get from what we were talking about to where we're going. But I don't have
Speaking
one.
of frustration,
you could have just started counting down from 5.
Everybody in 5. No, I like the idea of like, well, speaking of frustrations, what frustration, like cooking, that brings up a lot of frustrations unless you have the right recipe. Let's look at some of
Boy, do I have a great recipe for you today. Here's Culinary Delights.
Just a quick line, that's it. It is a beautiful thing. Look at that.
Why isn't that beautiful?
Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary.
What are we beyond?
Friends beyond the binary. Welcome to International Women's Day, the International Women's Day celebration of Culinary Delights, where 2 Midwestern moms and a California surfer girl talk about great recipes they found on the internet. I'm Amanda Bonanza. Below me is Lilith Elektra, and below her is Emily Kailyn. Hello, ladies.
Hi, friends.
Are you ready for a delicious recipe? A great recipe, because I have one today from the days it's a Great Depression era recipe is
Ooh.
where we're going. So we're
Ooh.
going like this is comfort food, I think is what they say. Is that what they call it?
I'm. Ooh,
It depends how
yeah.
much sawdust is in it.
Well, sawdust exactly, but it's a vintage. It is definitely a vintage recipe. We're approaching 100 years on this recipe, so it's here we go. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. We're looking at milk toast here. We're gonna make some milk toast.
Oh my God, cool. I don't know really what that is, so that's awesome. I know a lot
I
of
Is this
didn't-
any relation? Is this any relation to milk steak?
Milk steak.
That's
I don't know that that's the thing, but Charlie Day sure loves it, and I'm also a fan. And I would like an egg in these trying times. Thank you very much. No, I didn't know milk toast was an actual thing, because like the term milk toast, like, yeah, we all anyway, I'm gonna go down that road too much. I'm just gonna jump right in here. We got what is milk toast and why is it still so beloved? and so
Is it beloved?
news to me,
Wow. Is
I had
beloved
no
even more
idea.
intense than beloved? Is that like even more emotion involved if it's beloved versus
I
beloved?
always just thought it was pronounced beloved. That's how I've
Beloved.
always
Beloved is
pronounced it.
for an object. Beloved is to describe a person.
I
I
didn't know that was a
love
thing.
that as the definition.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like immortal beloved, is I think a vampire movie about somebody loves. Immortal beloved would be about a vampire who likes milk toast or whatever.
Sounds like milk toast. I had no
Oh, yeah.
idea that milk toast was still so beloved. I had no idea. Like
Me too.
I didn't even know it was really a thing.
Mm-mm.
But this was one of those things where as soon as I learned about it, I started seeing it everywhere. And now every time I go to a restaurant, I'm like, oh, they've got milk toast because it's so beloved,
Oh,
and all
yeah.
the
So
hipsters are
beloved.
ordering milk toast. You've probably heard of a milk toast person. What?
Nothing. No, the way this is written, this is like Corey Williams. What happened is he served milk toast at a party and everyone ragged on him. And then he started a blog where he was like, what's really everyone loves? Look at this article, milk toast. And you all made fun of me.
Well, see, that's definitely a pseudonym then, because this is probably really Dan Clive who was at the party and he was telling everybody about milk toast. They're like, what are you talking about? Who eats milk toast? He was like,
Nah,
no,
you're giving him too much credit. His real name is probably
beloved.
William Corey. It's William Corey. It's like, this is written by Corey Williams. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Totally different guy. Totally different guy.
Totally different guy.
Hi, I'm Chalk Burner, not a rapist.
I just like, the fact that milk toast is so beloved. Like we all know, how popular it is at McDonald's every year when they bring back their milk toast.
Yeah.
Wait, you're telling me every Christmas morning you don't race down to the tree to open up your presents and have a big old bowl of milk toast?
It's been a couple years.
I do now.
If this is just toast in milk, I really got to question why you're toasting it if you're just going to pour milk on it. It seems like you're adding steps here that are unnecessary.
So you see the
I could
future.
counter that. I'm not going to, but I can see that one both ways. Let's dive into this recipe and see what's actually going on here, because I'm
We can't
so
dive
curious.
into the recipe just yet. We need to build it up.
We're in the build up stage.
Yeah, so
still,
you have heard of you've probably heard of a milk toast person. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But have you heard of milk toast, the simple comfort food that has stood the test of time? And hasn't it though? It keeps on trucking, just like, yeah. Here's what you need to know about the old-fashioned dish that'll warm you up from the inside out. What is milk toast? That's a good question. Milk toast consists of cubed toasted bread served in warm milk. The milk is usually flavored with vanilla and spices such as cinnamon. In some versions, a milk sauce is poured over a whole piece of toast. So, a
Milk
nice milk sauce.
A nice milk reduction.
Oh yes, you gotta eat it with your pinky up. So I love the fact that Lilith had challenged the fact that you toast the bread before you put it into milk. How do you feel now about the fact that once you toast it, you then have to cube it?
Exactly.
I assume that you would cube it first and then put it on a skewer and toast it over an open flame, like a fireplace
that's the
or
only way
a
to do it.
hearth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a spit rotating, so you get even toasting around all your cubes of bread. Yeah.
The even toasting is
Well, no, you
crucial
have
to a good milk toast.
You have to cube it first, because if you don't cube it, you've got so much surface area that's untoasted.
I agree. You need to cube the bread first. Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out in the recipe because they've got the recipe. Why guess? Why would we guess?
Why would we guess when it's
First,
just
we
right
can't
here?
go in yet because we have milk toast history.
There's still some more history. Now
Because
we've learned
it's
that
so
milk toast
beloved and it
exists.
stood the test of
It was
time.
like-
I mean, it's like a staple. It's like the Q-tip. It's like Kleenex. It's like it's such a part of our daily lives that you forget about the history. It's like, oh, really? There was a time there was a time before milk toast. I know it's hard to imagine as
I
beloved
can't.
and popular as this dish is.
Well, yeah, what would life be like without milk toast? Like,
Hello,
Milk
Mom.
toast.
What's for breakfast? Oatmeal. What? That was life without milk toast.
Milk toast was a popular dish in the 19th and 20th centuries, particularly for small children and adults suffering from illness or gastrointestinal problems.
sounds delightful already.
It's already out of it. No wonder.
Wait, you're telling me people had
It's
stomach
still
issues
beloved
when they were
to
eating
this day.
warm bread with warm milk on it?
They had the stomach issues first, and then they added a bowl full of warm milk.
Going back to how beloved this dish is, can we just highlight the fact that this dish was popular for 200 years in the
200
19th and
years.
20th centuries?
No, I think this is probably like the 2 years right around the century. Like got popular in 1899, and then in 1901 they were done with it.
It just disappeared from all the menus and restaurants.
We're done with this.
It has been a source of reassurance and moral and physical strength.
Oh, this is some
Under
Christian
the
nationalist
morality
shit.
of milk toast.
It's starting to make sense now. It's beloved among a certain group of a certain
A
category
certain
of people,
group of
and we know who they are.
bunch of monastic weirdos.
Soft. I forgot what was in the parentheses. The soft, bland bread was considered easy to digest.
I mean, I can't argue with facts. I cannot argue with facts.
Digest that soft, bland bread and warm milk.
Yeah.
This is the
But
way.
no, warm milk, not so good for the gastrointestinal problems. But the soft, bland bread, that's where it's at.
See, the thing is when you're writing a recipe, this is for the future people out there that we will be featuring on Culinary Delights here. When you're talking about your recipe and you go into the history of it beforehand, which is very important for a recipe, of course, make sure to use very colorful words like bland to describe the recipe that you're getting people excited about. This is
best eaten in solitude. Oh, you sold me at sitting alone, sadly eating.
I'm sure, like, this whole sentence, this whole paragraph needs to be read from the beginning.
Let's start again.
It has been a source of reassurance and moral and physical strength for hundreds of years. I am sure. I'm guessing. I'm sure it's been a source of moral and physical strength for hundreds of years. I'm sure of it. And like many such friends, it perhaps does its best work when eaten in solitude. So it's like celebrated food writer MFK Fisher said about milquetoast in 1989's Alphabet for Gourmets. So
MFK Fisher sounds like J.K. Rowling trying to break into food writing.
let's assume it's MFK Fisher Jr. and they also had a brainworm. It seems to soothe the nerves and muscles and mind altogether. I'll be perfectly honest. That doesn't sound like the lingo of the streets that was bopping when like Too Legit to Quit came out.
This soothes the nerves and minds and muscles. Oh, my mind is so soothed.
In 1989, when hip hop
But
was thriving.
Of course, it soothes the nerves and the muscles and mind together. Like it's a source of moral and physical strength.
Moral, I'm perfectly, to be perfectly honest, I'm having like, what's an immoral food? Like what food is like,
Nachos, clearly.
Ortolan. Ortolan is an immoral food.
what is that?
That's they take a small bird, an ortolan, and they drown it in cognac, and then you eat it full, bones and all.
I've heard of that. Like,
And you
lobster
wear a
seems pretty
you wear
immoral
a
too. Yeah,
you wear a towel over your head so God can't watch.
that's right.
You
You eat it in shame. I remember that one.
You eat it not in shame, but in solitude, much like milquetoast.
But this is morally. You do this morally.
Yeah, this is the moral version of ortolan.
Yeah,
like
eating.
when you're in solitude with milquetoast, it's because you're closer to God.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you replace the bird with bread, you replace the cognac with milk, and yeah, it's like the Ned Flanders version of ortolan.
The World War II era comic strip character Casper Milquetoast's name
World famous
Casper Milquetoast, that classic, that scamp.
Wait, is that the boy who died and became Casper the Friendly Ghost?
I that could be.
I mean, it kind of rhymes. Concerned. Casper the Ghost, Casper Milquetoast.
It's like, I mean, sure. Yeah, that's as far as I know, that's canon.
Or it could also just be Richie Rich. I think Richie Rich bears a very strong resemblance to Casper the Ghost, but
the character Casper Milquetoast's name
yeah
comes from the mild, unoffending dish, which you sold me at moral strength and eating in solitude. But now that it's mild and unoffending, where can I get my hands on this? I can't wait for this recipe.
It's been described as bland, mild, and unoffending. Like, we're in for a ride here, folks.
Oh, wow. It's a real Nancy Pelosi of a dish.
Well, speaking of, these days, milquetoast is used to describe a timid, meek, or unassertive person. So, like, yeah.
So, I love language and I love word origins. I love finding where words come from, when they're interesting. This one is infuriating me because milquetoast is spelled MILQUE toast. And it's just like, but there's the food milquetoast. Like, it seems weird that it, so it must have this great origin of why it's spelled weird and why it sounds the same as our milquetoast. But the fact that it just comes from milquetoast and someone was just being clever about it and spelled it for a character name, that honestly infuriates me.
Was that classic comic strip move of being really clever? It's like, these are the same people that like wrote the Flintstones and shit.
I mean, you got your Hagar the Horrible. You
got the Wizard of Id.
The Id. Oh my God, why did we both go to the Wizard of Id? Yeah, like classic Jim Davis of Garfield fame.
What's milquetoast made of? I mean,
I assume milk and toast, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Clearly, it's a mystery. No?
It's a mystery to all of us. And spoiler alert, by the way.
Toast is made with, you guessed it, milk and toast.
Wow. Who would have guessed?
That's simply worthy of its own segment.
The twists and turns in this recipe. Wow.
Wow.
I think this article... Okay, so wait a minute. We're going back here because this was written by by Corey
Well-
Williams, which is clearly a pseudonym for M. Night Shyamalan, with such a great twist there. Milk toast is often a meal born from necessity, so any loaf you have on hand is fine.
Oh,
Any
okay.
loaf will do. It's like your morning call. If it's slightly stale, that's even better. So we're on
It's
the
just gonna
right
be
track.
it's just gonna be
Stale
soaked with
toast.
milk, so it's not gonna be stale anymore. I mean,
Well, that was
Corey
the
Williams just
original-
spitting facts right here.
That was the original tagline for milk. They landed on Got Milk, but before that it was called the Fresh Maker, and then they got sued by Mentos.
Ah.
However, the ideal bread is thick sliced and sturdy enough to stay intact when soaked in milk. Breads that work well for French toast, such as challah and brioche, will also work well here. You know, you think of those classic like meals born from necessity, like oh, we're out of food and we can't afford to go shopping. We'll just have to scrape up the challah and the artisanal brioche that we've got laying around.
Ah,
How do you make milk toast? Well, once again, our
none of
five
us, none of us
star
here on this show could possibly guess. So
I know,
please
it's
tell us
amazing.
how to do this.
The buildup.
Do I
is
have to
just
preheat my
amazing.
microwave for this?
Our 5-star milk toast recipe is easy to follow, even for beginners. So if you're just starting, you've never made any food before, but you're like, I want to learn how to cook. Milk toast is a great place to start because not only is it a beloved classic, it's also moral and builds character, and it's easy to follow. So all recipes community members say it is smooth and delicious and a sweet comfort on winter evenings. That sounds like something community members would say and not an ad person. Check out the recipe for step-by-step instructions. Well, we will. In the meantime, here's what you can expect.
So we're not even
Wait,
getting to the
what?
recipe yet. This is just like a
This isn't the
precursor.
recipe?
Just no, just to get you ready, like to prepare you. It's a lot that's coming at you soon. So we just want to get you a little prepared, a little warmed up to it. You know, we won't want to shock you too much. So let's ease into this.
Before you
This
check
is-
out the recipe, here's what to expect from the recipe.
This is the trailer for the recipe. This is
Oh, yeah.
for your consideration.
This
Milk
is the
toast.
And
red band trailer of milk toast.
And the 45-minute history lesson pre the recipe didn't encapsulate or cover that. Okay, cool. Let's go.
Number 1, combine milk, sugar, and vanilla extract over medium heat and bring to a boil. So, you're supposed to boil your milk, which is not something I would usually think to do. But like, hey, I guess that's good in this case. That's how you make your milk sauce.
It's okay to boil your milk. If you're watching us and you think you're gonna make this at home, please do not leave your boiling milk unattended. You will fuck shit up. You will end up with a burned, disgusting mess and a ruined pan. So yes, medium heat, slow, bring it to a boil.
Remove from heat and divide the milk between 3 bowls.
The fuck?
It's for 3. But okay,
How
so it's
much
for 3
milk
people.
do we have like
we can't know yet. We're not
There's
to the
only the
recipe
trailer.
yet. This
Recipe.
is just the
This is
preparation.
preview.
We're getting mentally prepared for what is to come. So just don't overthink it.
This is what's coming. This is like we'll
Okay.
get to how much milk to use when we get to the
Okay.
recipe. This is not the recipe.
No.
okay?
Number 3, tear the toast into bite-sized pieces and distribute between the bowls. Number 4, sprinkle the
Tear.
toast with cinnamon before serving.
Sure.
I don't know about y'all, but I feel like we've just been given the recipe.
I think
I
we
feel
have
like we
just been
have.
given the recipe because I'm
Yeah.
looking at what I've got left as far as slides go, and there isn't
4 gallons
anything.
of milk,
This is
2 pounds of
this is
sugar.
the recipe. It doesn't say how much milk, how much sugar, how much
eyeball
vanilla,
that shit.
but
eyeball
it's
that
3
shit. We're all
bowls
professionals
full
here.
that you boiled.
I'm sorry. We are talking about one of the preeminent recipes of our time and one of the most popular comfort foods in the history of America. You need me to tell you how much milk to boil to
I
make 3
know.
servings of milk
That's
toast?
ridiculous.
I have a massive question here already, and we're not to the recipe. I know I'm jumping the gun a
No,
little bit here,
this is the recipe.
but I thought this. Anyways, this dish is designed is best for situations where you're eating in solitude. Like that's when it does
Why are
its
you
best
making
work.
3 bowls?
When you're eating in solitude. Why why does the recipe require that you make 3 bowls worth?
That's
For-
a good one.
Because of the Trinity. Because of the Trinity,
Oh,
you make
jeez.
3 bowls, and then you take your bowls into your own separate prayer closet.
So,
where
I'm
you,
gonna.
where you enjoy your moral meal in front of God.
I'm also gonna say this milk toast is sounds vaguely like uncooked French toast. You're just basically putting bread in a milk, sugar, vanilla, and then frying it. That's French toast. You would add an egg maybe, but this is essentially uncooked French toast.
This is America's
Yeah.
best attempt at a French toast.
This is America toast. After 9/11, it's all we ate.
America toast.
Classic. I'm wondering if you have any reviews for this milk toast.
Well, it was hard to find someone. I mean, we joke here about it was really hard, but I did happen to find I just reached out to my network of improvisers and coaches and people who like to travel, and I did find a goblin who enjoys milk toasts. Irk of Blurred.
What? I'm sorry, what? Okay.
Irk of Blurred, who looks suspiciously like Rainn Wilson with a mustache for his nose. Oh,
Irk.
hold on.
Irk is
Irk
the
of
best
Blurred.
name I've ever heard in my life.
I wasn't prepared for this. I was like, I'm just gonna get into character. I'm gonna read this, and I am. Milk toast is the greatest food in all the lands. Soft, warm, and perfectly soggy, just as food should be. The bread melts into the milk like a defeated foe. No chewing required, just glorious slurping and glurping. Every bite is a cozy hug from my goblin insides, far superior to those awful crunchy dry foods that other creatures eat. I've tasted nothing else, and I need nothing else. Milk toast is me life, my love, and my true feast. If you have not drowned your bread in milk and devoured it with glee, you have not truly lived. 5 stars.
So,
I'm just so confused. So we got a precursor to the recipe. The recipe was a link. Like, is there a recipe?
I think
Again,
that was the recipe.
As I said, if you need exact measurements to make your milk toast, then maybe this isn't for you.
Yeah, maybe you're not moral enough.
If Irk of Blurred, can make it off this recipe, you can.
You need to go to confession and confess your sins, and then God will give you a revelation of how much milk to use for your milk toast that you separate into 3 bowls and then take into your prayer closet.
Lilith, we talked about starting up the new show, and I think that still needs to happen. We've got some other things going on. We'll get to that eventually. I think we need a social media account for Irk of Blurred and to develop this character.
I want to see the results, our final the results of our hard work and our morality.
I absolutely need to see this.
There it is. And here's the thing about this is, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, it's all this probably is delicious, and essentially what this is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, it's probably actually really good.
It's cinnamon toast slosh. It's not crunchy at all.
There's no crunch to this.
It's essentially bread pudding, which I love, but bread pudding is you make more of a custard than just milk and cinnamon.
Yeah.
Or like I said, it's uncooked French toast.
Yeah, and I think you really hit on the thing there with that idea of the uncooked French toast, Lilith, is that this has to be one of the laziest meals you could possibly make.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. It seems like I'm sorry. Everything was covered on my screen, so I didn't see the comments, but I think Urk of Blurred is quite a hit here in the transverse.
I enjoyed it. So I do those. And I did, because you did, so I don't know if I should spoil the magic, but I did get that name from, I typed in goblin name generator into Google, and so I found one.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen and friends beyond the binary, that's been Culinary Delights.
And actually, that's kind of a wrap on today's episode as we're getting to the top of the hour. So
Yeah.
I got a couple things here for everyone. If you enjoyed the show, you can support us by checking out our Etsy store. You can get this shirt as well as cups. You can get Don't Talk to Me Till I've Had My Estrogen mugs at the transverse.etsy.com. There's some goodies there. You can also support us on Patreon, patreon.com/the transverse for exclusive content and perks. Also, personal website, you can visit lilithelektra.com. I'm going to be working on that over the next couple of weeks, but you can sign up for my newsletter there. In an hour, you can stick. Is it right here, the same place, or is just the trans? It's like a different YouTube.
Well, they have to click on the next
feed,
video.
right?
It's the same
But in an
transverse, it's
hour,
the same network. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see Mediocre Poker with Amanda Bonanza in just about an hour. And then tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you missed it last week, you missed a fun time. It's Border Trans. It's the three of us and my husband Bunny playing through Borderlands 2. We got through the first part. We killed Flint and we moved on to we're on the road to Sanctuary. So join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Also, last thing, for those of you in the States, it is jump ahead today on your clocks. Your clocks move ahead tonight. Here at the equator, we don't really have to do that, but the rest of y'all will be doing that tonight. So make sure you do that. Unless anyone else have anything coming up that they want people to pay attention to. I asked for anything and I didn't get anything, so I just want to make sure I give you an opportunity if you have to plug anything.
If you're in Southern California, we've got Trans Pride Week coming up at the end of March, an entire week of events that starts March 24th and runs through March 30th, right up before Trans Day of Visibility, which is March 31st. So it's a week full of wonderful events, concert, some parties, a family event, all kinds of great stuff. So you can check out transpridevc.org for that information. And if you want to support and you can't be there, there is a donate link on there as well, which anything donated to that would be really wonderful. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Well, all right.
Well, I have one more thing, because I just wanted a friendly reminder. I will again be guesting on Truth Wanted on Friday, April 5th. It's about 4 weeks from now. And I'll be hosting, I don't know who, I think Kelly's going to be hosting that night, but it'll be me taking the calls on the ACA network. And check it out. Truth Wanted is a great show. All the shows on the ACA network are great. And I'll be doing that. Mark your calendar. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern Central Time. So 3 p.m. here.
Yes.
No, that's not right. It's not right.
6
It's 7
p.m.
p.m.
Eastern.
Central Time. So it's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're doing great. This is why Lilith took over the closing things. Watch me on Truth Wanted.
Yeah, so we could do it so much better than we've done it before. It's so much better. So much better.
That was very polite.
Royal we here.
See y'all tonight at Border Trans. Amanda, we'll see you in an hour at Mediocre Poker.
Bye-bye.
Love you and we're sorry.
Sorry. Never apologize.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not going out on that. We can do better. Let's try that again. In 5, 4,
No.
3.
Urk of Bloke says good boy. Good boy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, my love.
Enjoy your milk toast in solitude.